Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And basically, this is going to be a quick video. I was watching the video that was done by the brother. I don't remember his name at the moment, but his YouTube handler is Ban Raoban, and it was entitled at Shapa of the 1266. I didn't understand mercy until I needed mercy. And very good video. I was as I was watching it, a few precepts came to mind, okay, which is basically a situation where we always have to keep in mind, because this comes up from time to time, that the Lord brings up situations, okay, in which all of us are tested, and more so it's about your character, when when your character is called into question, how are you going to react to that? And something that's very important in that is being able to identify when, this is actually happening. Because one terrible trait that Babylon the Great has, forced upon our people is, through time, is you have to defend yourself even when you're wrong, and that's it's like this misconception of appearing weak or seeming to be weak, if you acknowledge your faults or if you show integrity. Okay, like today, they look at that, the world, mainly when I say the world, I'm talking about the Western society, they view that as being weak or soft. Okay, but in actuality, it's actually, harder to own up, and show integrity, in different situations. Okay, and that all comes under being able to rule your spirit, because remember that being in the truth, quote unquote, does not mean, okay, well, I've been teaching and I know these breakdowns and these precepts, and I've been going out to the highways and byways for X amount of years. But as you've been doing that for X amount of years, how have you grown, not just in knowledge, but in the spirit, in terms of spiritual maturity? Okay, because you may grow in knowledge and understanding, but if you don't grow in spiritual maturity, if your character is not, growing along with you, ultimately what's going to happen is you could be in the truth for 15 years or 25 years, and you'd still have the same character as you did when you came into the truth, which means ultimately you didn't put off that old man. And like I mentioned, the Lord will bring up situations unexpectedly that will try you, that will try each and every one of us in our character to see, okay, what manner of man truly are you? One example that comes to mind before I get this precept is with King David and King Saul. Well, at the time it was King Saul and then David, but basically when the Lord had David and his men hiding in that cave, and Saul went in there by himself, to ease himself, and pretty much the Lord presented Saul to David, like, hey, here's a kill, take that. But David showed mercy. Okay. And that was just a sign of his character, of his nature. And he decided actually not to, go ahead and kill Saul, even though his men urged him to. Okay. And that right there, it was a test disguised in an opportunity, right? Which is, oh, the Lord has finally seen how much, evil this person has caused me and brought upon me. And the Lord is finally rectifying things by giving me the ability to take this guy out, because he's been trying to take me out for X, Y, and Z. And so you go ahead and do it. But okay, maybe in the eyes of some, he may be justified. Oh, hey, look, the person was after him. He finally got his chance. He took it, but then again, maybe who's to say that if David had slain Saul, who's to say that wouldn't have displeased the Lord? So always remember that character is important in the truth. All right. And it goes a long way, because character can be faked. How you truly are in terms of sincerity, it can be faked. And it's only a matter of time, before some situation comes upon you, and it just shows what manner of person you actually are. So that goes into this precept here, which is dealing with being able to rule your spirit. This is the book of Proverbs 16 and 32. Let's go there real quick. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32. And that's also a part of the battle of the flesh, right? Because, we're all in the flesh. We all get angry. We all, we all get annoyed sometimes. We all get rubbed the wrong way sometimes. However, being able to control, your emotions, and being able to control what you do when you're upset is something that goes a very long way. Because if you're not able to do that, that can do a lot of damage. That also goes a very long way. Now, this is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Okay? Because here's an example, right? I don't know, you come home to an unfortunate situation. Something happened, you come and see the results of something that really, really ticks you off, and immediately you just start spazzing, you start losing it, you pissed all hell off and all of that. But then later on, you find out that the reason as to why this happened, was something unavoidable, and it wasn't even the fault of anybody. And yet here it is, you done torn your house upside down, you blamed everybody, you done said things you weren't supposed to say because you were so quick to anger. Rather than being slow to anger, because sometimes you see something, and before you lose your mind, before you lose it, it's good to hear, and when I say something, I'm talking about a situation where maybe somebody might have done something, you want to hear the whole matter, right, before you lose it. Because it may be that that's not the case. It may be that what you're thinking isn't actually what it is. Okay. And so before you act out of that rash initial anger, before finding out the cause, if you're slow to anger, you actually apply wisdom in a better way. Because remember, when you're angry, your judgment is swayed by your anger. And maybe if you weren't as angry, you might have made a different decision, or you might have thought into it a little bit more, or thought ahead a little bit more as to the consequences before you took action. But because you were so angry, your anger overpowered reason, and now you're in trouble. And that's not a position you want to be in. Right? So, ruling your spirit, it goes a long way. It's not easy. It's definitely easier said than done. Okay. But it's not impossible. Now let's go to Proverbs 25. Verse 28. All right. And it reads, Slakia, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. When you don't have rule over your spirit, you're pretty much unpredictable, right? Because the next person doesn't know, whether they can trust you with a certain situation, because you might just lose it one day. So it's hard to make, certain plans and decisions, including you, because you might just, cause it all to go down the drain because you don't have rule over your spirit. And unpredictability, depending on the situation, but in most cases, it's not really good. It reduces your reliability as well. Okay, here it is. If you're a manager and you have, all these workers, but this one worker is unpredictable. They might show up to work late one day. They might show up early one day. They might not show up at all. They might do a no call, no show. They might show up and not do the job at all. Okay, you can't rely on them to do the job. Maybe one day you tell them, hey, could you actually work on this floor? And then they just lose it. You never know when they're gonna lose it. In a case like that, you might just say, yo, listen, if the district manager is coming in today, make sure this guy is off. Make sure he's not working today. Because I can't guarantee that he's gonna act or behave in an appropriate manner. Today might be the day that he loses it, and I can't have that. That becomes what? A liability. Okay? And that's not what's needed. We're all men here. And as the Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I spake as a child, but when I became a man, roughly paraphrasing, I put away childish things. Having that quick temperament, that quick temper, those are things you see mainly in children. Okay, as you grow, you're supposed to grow in reason as well, especially being in this truth. If you read these books, I mean, even in the book of Proverbs, for example, there's a lot of practical wisdom. And it's one thing to quote it, and it's another thing to do it. So hey, that's why the words of the Heavenly Father are in this book, not for us to just read and know it, but to apply it. The power is in the application. That's where it is. If you read online about the benefits of a good diet, but you never actually go on a good diet, you're not gaining the benefits. You just know the benefits, but you're not gaining the benefits. You read the scriptures about the benefits of ruling your spirit, but you don't do it. You don't gain that benefit. You just know about it. So that's basically what it is. When you read these scriptures and you don't apply it, you just know of them. But it's like knowing not to take the mark of the beast, but you're going to take it anyway. Well, you know that if you don't take it, you're going to, then you're not going to be destroyed if you're of the elect. But if you go and take it, then it doesn't matter whether you knew or not. You're not going to gain that benefit. So the power is in the application. And you always want to remember that, because, in your hot anger, you might say or do something that, there may not be going back from. You may drop the glass plate, and once it's broken, that's it. That's the end of that. All right. So anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Like I said, it was a quick exhortation, always something to keep in mind. Okay, with the different trying situations that the Lord will bring upon us, always remember that the Lord is watching. So don't let the Babylonian fleshly side win. Okay, rather let the spiritual side win. With that, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodesh. And until next time, Shalom.